Welcome to this explainer. Look, if your mind right now feels like a web browser with 100 tabs open, alarms ringing everywhere, and absolutely no idea where that random music is coming from, well, you are in the exact right place. Modern life is just chaos, isn't it? We're literally bombarded with decisions and notifications 24/7, and it gets incredibly overwhelming. But what if the ultimate cheat code for navigating all this madness was actually written thousands of years ago? Today, we're unpacking the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, and we're translating its timeless lessons into a really structured path to help you find some absolute peace of mind. Let's get into it.
So I want you to think for a second. Have you recently found yourself standing at a massive crossroads in your life, just feeling completely stuck? Maybe you were paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice, or honestly, just overwhelmed by things totally out of your control. We've all been there. It's that feeling of deep inner conflict where we just don't know which way to go.
And when we hit that wall, we usually look outward for solutions. But check out this incredibly profound truth from the source text. There is no wealth in this world greater than peace of mind. Just let that breathe for a moment. True richness, it isn't your bank account. It's the stillness in your head. Okay, let's dive into this ancient cure for our modern anxiety.
To do that, we're going to journey inward through 5 main pillars today: solving life's dilemmas, figuring out if the mind is a friend or an enemy, navigating relationships, understanding karma as duty, and finally, the cycle of time and patience.
Starting right off with pillar number 1, solving life's dilemmas and finding clarity in the chaos. When we're faced with massive problems, it's so easy to tell ourselves, well, I'm just one person. What can I actually do? But this vivid metaphor completely shatters that feeling of powerlessness. Think about the sun. It is completely solitary, entirely alone up there in the sky, yet it manages to illuminate the entire world. The truth is, you have way more power to change your reality than you realize.
And part of claiming that power is shifting how we actually view our own luck. You know, we tend to envy the lucky folks, the ones who just seem to get everything handed to them on a silver platter. But the truly blessed, they aren't the ones who avoid hardship. They're the people who take whatever they're given, even the really painful stuff, and make something good out of it. Because honestly, a little bit of difficulty is required for growth. If you only ever experience easy mode, you will never move forward.
Which brings us to pillar 2, the mind. Is it your friend or your biggest enemy? Welcome to the internal battlefield.
You see, the ultimate battlefield isn't out there in the physical world. It's right between your ears. So let's define what we're actually up against. The uncontrolled mind is described as a restless, shifting force, much like the wind. Just picture that. A powerful gust of wind can blow a massive ship completely off course, right? Well, an unanchored mind, one that's constantly distracted by endless desires, will completely derail your life's purpose just the same.
So we're left with this really stark choice. If you can conquer your mind, it becomes your absolute truest friend. It focuses your energy, cuts out useless anxiety, and naturally drives you towards success. But if you lose to it, if your mind is calling the shots, it morphs into your greatest enemy. It feeds your ego, creates endless worry, and literally makes you your own worst obstacle.
And one of the most toxic weapons of that enemy mind is suspicion. Here's a rapid-fire truth for you. Excessive suspicion and doubt will not only wreck your relationships, but they will permanently shatter your peace of mind. An overly suspicious mind isolates you. It creates this personal hell where you're just constantly second-guessing everyone's motives.
And that flows perfectly into pillar 3, relationships, expectations, and reality. Let's look at the truth about human connection.
Consider this one. The biggest slap in life is dealt by the expectations we have of others. Ouch, right? It's incredibly painful, but wow, is it deeply relatable. The source text makes it clear that the happiest people in the world are the ones who figured out that expecting things from other people is, ultimately, just to set up for disappointment. To help us navigate all these tricky human connections, the Gita gives us the sandalwood metaphor, and this is brilliant. The sandalwood tree is famous worldwide for its beautiful, sweet fragrance. But people forget that this exact same tree is a natural host to some of the world's most venomous snakes. The warning here is crystal clear. The people who speak the absolute sweetest on the outside often hide the most toxic hostility on the inside.
So we have to lay out these hard truths of human nature. People will change how they speak to you the second their needs change. And shockingly, the ones you love most are often the ones who will exploit your weaknesses, simply because they know exactly where to hit. Being excessively good, that just leads to being excessively used. And fake friends will always judge and ignore you based purely on your current status. The takeaway?
Be smart enough to forgive, but please don't be foolish enough to blindly trust again.
Actually, you know what? Despite all those tough truths, the text offers this really surprising, practical piece of advice. Never completely break a bad relationship. Why? Because even dirty water, which you would never ever drink, can still be used to put out a roaring fire. Basically, every connection, even the really flawed ones, has a potential purpose if you're wise enough to handle it right.
Moving on to pillar 4. Karma is the greatest duty. Action without expectation.
So, karma is a buzzword today, right? But at its core, karma simply means taking action. Doing your duty is literally the reason you were born. And here is the foundational tenet of the whole Gita. Do your duty without worrying about the result. That one single sentence is the absolute key to unlocking your peace. When you detach yourself from the anxiety of what might happen tomorrow and just focus on doing the right thing right now, the paralysis just vanishes.
It's absolutely crucial to separate where you should spend your energy from what you just need to surrender to the universe. What's in your control? Your daily actions, your pure intentions, and choosing to smile and find a solution. What's out of your control? The final rewards, people changing their opinions of you, and folks totally misunderstanding your journey. We have got to stop trying to control things that are entirely out of our hands. And hey, if you ever start worrying that your good deeds are going completely unnoticed, keep this beautiful image in mind. Truth is like a drop of oil on water. No matter how many buckets of lies or misunderstandings get poured over it, the truth will always eventually float to the top. Your honest karma never goes to waste, ever.
That brings us to our final pillar, pillar 5, the cycle of time and patience and weathering the storm.
Once you've got your mind in check and you're focusing on your actions, the final piece of the puzzle is mastering patience. Time is so powerful, and it's cyclical. If you're going through a really dark phase right now, let this comfort you. Time shifts like the wind. Bad luck will pass. Time can actually turn bitter enemies into friends because, let's face it, selfish needs are always changing. And just like a stone has to endure intense fire to become refined gold, your struggles are forging you. If the wind is against you right now, just wait. It's going to change direction eventually.
You can really see this in how different people react to challenges. The foolish, they argue constantly and panic at the tiniest bit of trouble. But the wise stay completely silent and calm, whether they're getting insulted or praised. Think of cold iron. True strength is staying cool and solid. If you get hot and angry, like heated iron, you become incredibly easy for everyone else to bend and manipulate.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really absorb this ultimate humbling truth. You came empty-handed and you will leave empty-handed. What is yours today was someone else's yesterday and will be someone else's tomorrow. When you truly internalize that, it completely strips away the ego, the vanity, and that fierce possessiveness that causes so much of our unnecessary daily suffering.
The big takeaway here is that your peace is already inside you. It's just buried under all the noise. So, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. What is one single expectation you can choose to let go of today to find your peace? Thank you so much for taking this journey inward with me, and I really hope this explainer helps you navigate the chaos just a little bit better.